December greetings to each one of you. A Merry Christmas in advance already. The noteworthy achievement at MMDU couldn't stop us from coming live ahead of our Sunday usuals. I, Mahima Sindhi, on behalf of the entire MMDU family, extend a hearty welcome to each one of you who've tuned in at the break of the weekend. Time for the mega news, everyone. MMDU Engineering Alumni, Mr. Ajay Pant, BTech Computer Science student from batch 2016-2020, earned All India Rank 8 to his cap and got selected for the Indian Military Academy. Ajay, a 25 years old army brat, hails from a beautiful place called Almora in Uttarakhand. His educational journey accounts for studying in different army schools in places like Secunderabad, Pune, Jaipur, and Roorkee, accounting to his army background that runs in the family. He worked as a software engineer post his graduation in one of the tech giants for 1.5 years and finally got selected for the IMA as being fit for the service. Being a true Pahari himself, Mr. Pant is a keen trekker who loves to explore remote civilizations in mountains and doing summits. Reading and cycling happen to be his pastime activities. Let us hear from the champion himself about the journey thus far. May I request the backend team to have Ajay on the screen, please?
Hi, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Ajay. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. I'm good.
How was the feeling when you got to hear this? Because you could hear it from my voice, how excited I was when I got to know about the same thing. So, how was your feeling when you got to know that you made it to the list?
Ma'am, truly speaking, I was like, is it even real or not? Because like securing All India rank was, I didn't expected it. Though my parents, my friends, my family members, they were very confident that yeah, you'll score All India rank something. So I thought that around 26 students were selected all over India. So I personally thought that I'll be 15th or 19th, like in these positions. But All India rank 8 was something I never expected from it.
I think that is amazing. I mean, I can see it in your eyes, the kind of excitement you have and the expectations when it led to something more and more. I think that's really amazing. So, how was the reaction? आपके घर पे, your family, friends, your pals, your colleagues for that matter, your mentors, कैसे सबके phone आना शुरू हो गए थे? Your phone was bombarded with WhatsApp messages and regular text and probably news people calling you. How was it?
Okay, so ma'am, there is an interesting story behind it. I got recommended on 29th of September, and from that I was undergoing my medicals. So
Okay.
there was slight issue in my left hand because I underwent a fracture somewhere in 2018. So the medical team, they were suspicious about my bone strength. So till then I didn't told anyone that see that I have got recommended for this and this, because I wanted to let everyone know once everything is through and through.
Sure of it.
So
I
yeah,
actually get you. Yeah.
so my final medical was in research and referral, RR Delhi, and just on this 5th of December, I got to know that yeah, I have finally made it. The doctors were confident that yeah, I am fit to perform all the activities and all the training centrals in the academy. So then is the time I put my WhatsApp status and everything. I let my parents know, and also like my father was in ICU at that time because he was going
Okay.
undergoing a surgery.
Mhm.
So I told everyone, but I wanted to visit my father personally and tell him.
Yeah.
And as you introduced me, that yeah, my father was also in army. He had served 30 years in the forces, but he was in the rank of junior commissioned officer, JCO. So, and he always wanted me to be an officer in the forces. So I personally went to him. I told him that yeah, I have got recommended. He was praying for me at that time that he gets
Oh.
selected.
Mhm.
And when I told him, that was, I guess, the second time when I saw my father crying. The first time I saw him was at my grandfather's demise. And so, yeah, this is how his
I think
reaction
it's
was. My mother, yeah, yeah, my mother, she's a Fauji wife, so she was very, no, she didn't cry at all. So she was like, "कि चल ठीक है, हो गया, let's perform better
yeah.
in the academy." So she was like this. But my father, being in the same profession and seeing his son rising from his rank, like the rank where he ended, I'll be commissioned two ranks above from him. So he was very delighted by that.
I think the news itself, the way you're sharing it, I can already imagine everything. And to my imagination, I can see your father jumping out of his bed when he was actually undergoing a surgery and probably he was in his recovery period. And then that got as a mega news. And then moms being mom, They want to show all this strength, and probably she would have cried, not in front of you, maybe later for sure, right? And then your friends and family and everybody reacting to the same. And I think that is very true. We usually want to be, low key once we are not sure of what is happening. So people who usually go abroad in areas for their, future studies or whatsoever, they'd want to keep it low key until wo visa aa jata hai. So I think it was very fine a decision of you, and something wherein you had to hold it from your family for quite a while until you were sure. I think it takes a lot of courage. I mean, you have a very strong gut for sure. Coming to the next question, Ajay. So the Indian armed forces falls under the government of Ministry of Defense, right? Government of India. So with a strength of over 1.4 million active personnel, what do you think are the key skills or factors that makes IAF as world's second largest military force and the world's largest volunteers? Why do people go mad and crazy when it comes to IAF?
Ma'am, I would like to let's look at it in a different way. See, India is having a population of 140 crores, and we are having around 14 lakh people in army, around 1.7 lakh people in air force, and around 68 or 69,000 personnel in navy. So that makes us around 17 lakh military personnel. But we are 140 crores. Let's look into Russia. Russia is just 15 crores. Okay, and they are having a military personnel of 10 lakh. So I just mean to say that Indian armed forces, they are overburdened by their responsibility. The
Hmm.
and we, our hostile neighbor, we are having our hostile neighbor both in the north, in the west, and also in the east. So in this hostile neighbor, Indian armed forces has to operate in such way that actually makes military personnel very overburdened. And coming to a next question, what makes Indian armed forces, like why people go crazy for the forces? So I guess it is our history. See, India has been always been a land of warriors. So
Yeah.
we had Rajputanas, we had Sikhs and everything. So that is why. So people are like, I can give my life to my motherland. So India considers like its land as its mother only. So these are all the, I can say these are from the historical perspective only, that the young brats, they are eager to join forces. But this is not the scenario in other countries. And the second thing is that a trust that army gives to its people.
For sure. Yeah, correct. I think
Yeah,
that is
so
very
according,
true.
yeah.
So since we're talking about, giving blood to your motherland and actually feeling India as your first mother and then you having your own mother. So what do you think does it take? I mean, is it something that is infused because we are born in a country like India, or is it because of the culture and whatever our history the country holds, or what is it? So that brings me to my next question. So they say work hard today and you get ready for tomorrow, right? In fact, a well-known story of ants teaches us persistence, hard work, and constant efforts. We've seen ants as the struggling ones, but then the best ones, right? Teamwork, ants are the best example. So each one of us must try harder to achieve greater results in life. So how true is that in your opinion, and what all hard work and drill was involved behind your achievement of what you've achieved today? So I would like to know the drill that you went through, and what was it? How did you keep your spirits high even when there were low key moments?
So, ma'am, coming to this question is like it is very well said that hard work pays off. It definitely pays off. But the thing is, like, I don't consider this like my selection as a very great thing, because it is just a job only that I'll do. Okay, so the forces found me fit to serve in their organization. So what I mean to say is that, like as you said, that what all drills had you involved. So I started my journey back in 2017 when I was writing my ND examination, where I was giving my service selection board after clearing the examination. So it has been 7 times that I failed. There are many candidates those fail because the examination is not tough, but the limited seats those are there in this organization, that really makes it tough. So the drills that I was constantly involved in, that see, just to let you know, the background of the test is that it is moreover a personality test,
Yeah.
where your, yeah, where your personality is just, and you are like, you are considered whether you will be fit for the organization and of or not. If you will be fit, then you get in. If you are not, then you'll not be selected. So first thing that I did was my self introspection. I found out that, okay, where are the things that I'm lacking? What is actually the thing that forces require? There are 15 officer like qualities that they look in a candidate. anyone can search it over the internet. 15 offices like quality in army. So first of all, they look at that thing. So I personally tick mark that okay, I'm having these qualities, and these are the qualities where I'm lagging. Apart from it, they require good physical standards. So I started doing activities like, as you said, I started cycling, I started doing summits, I started going for trekking and other physical activities, so as to keep my mind as well as my body fit. And the third thing was constant support from my parents that I was getting, from my mentors that I was getting, that they said that they were saying that they know that I was for the forces, but somehow I was not able to make it in the initial stage. So like this constant support that I was getting from my family, from my mentors and my friends, that actually motivated me to move further in life.
I think that is an amazing journey that you've lived in, that has got you results, right? So can I request the audiences, if you have any questions, we have Ajay live and he's taken time from his schedule now that he's a big man. So you can for sure share your questions, whatever you'd like to ask. Anything, जो भी आप लोग को जानना है in terms of whatever, were his struggles that were involved, how many times did he attempt, क्या कुछ करना पड़ता है, क्या कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता है, what went good for him, what did not really went well for him. So we have him here. So aapka whatever questions you have, we can have it in the comments and we will address it for sure. So moving on to the next question, Ajay. As an assured fact that we all know and we have it, deep hidden in our hearts, people sleep peacefully in their beds at night is only because rough men stand ready to fight their lives on their behalf, right? So would you want to, we would want to know how tough is the actual reality being the part of the IMA's journey?
Ma'am, this thing that people sleep peacefully on bed while rough men are guarding our borders. So I am sitting in Bangalore, you probably must be sitting in Delhi or somewhere. So we won't know this. Actually, I'm saying that this is a saying, but we will not actually know this. But if we would have been in forward places like Kupwara, in Jammu and Kashmir, or somewhere in the northeast where these terrorist contacts are so frequent, then actually we have this feeling. So this is the thing that I always say, that if you actually want to be proud of your forces, just go to these places, visit Kargil once and see how people are living there, how protected they feel when they know that there are some men guarding their border. So yeah, Indian armed forces, the I'm saying both, all three, army, air force and navy, they all take it as their responsibility only, because the kind of organization, the kind of ethos that they're having is that yeah, these are my men that I'm guarding that I'm guarding at my back, and they're ready to take bullets on their chest when it comes to guarding their motherland. Yeah.
Correct.
So the again the same thing, the love for their motherland is all that, like, see, they are just paid, see, they are not paid very high. You'll not find these guys living in some villas of, so in very luxurious villas and something. These are very normal guys, not paid very much but decent enough, but still they are doing this just because the academy, the Indian military academy, or all the academy, they infuses these qualities in those men, that yeah, you have to take the bullet on your chest when it comes to your motherland.
I think it,
So
it is about the ethos and principles, like you said. Once you have it in your blood, then you do whatever. Like, for example, if I'm in my verses, if it is about my family, I will get any time and bounce back. Ki meri family ke liye, I'll forget everything. I'll forget everything that the future holds for me. I will just be for them because that is how it is. They are my blood. They are the reasons why I am today. So I think that is when it comes to army men and probably other people who have that passion and zeal and that patriotism. I think that comes because you're infused. It is in principle and blood and skin that is put into you, correct?
बचपन में मैम बोलते थे ना, इंडिया इज माई कंट्री, ऑल इंडियंस आर माई ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स. दीज मैन एक्चुअली टेक इट वेरी सीरियसली. They consider everyone as their brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Oh, that is lovely, lovely. So, Ajay, we have a question from the audience. Mr. Jatinder wants to ask that what is it that keeps you going when things get down? So that one person who inspires you to get back again and again, and जब भी आपका low key moment आता है, फिर आप कुछ imagine करते हो. One for sure is your country because you're fighting for the same bit, and that is how you've committed your life to the same. But then, what is that one other thing that keeps you driving? Because we have our youth also listening us. So, what is that one thing?
See, just to मतलब मैं किसी को ये भी बोलूं कि what is one thing that keeps you motivated, it is just your passion. Taking a very simple example, see, if you are passionate about something, किसी भी चीज के लिए अगर आप पैशनेटेड हो तो वो चीज पे आप कॉम्प्रोमाइज ही नहीं कर सकते कभी भी. I was working in this 9 to 5 job, okay, that I was having. Then getting up early in the morning, getting ready for the office, doing all that hectic work. Like I was merely doing some data engineering things. Some I was into software engineering, some development, some testing. I was doing all this. And after coming back to home, I was studying physics. I was studying history. I was studying so completely a different domain. So you can't be like कि नहीं यार मैं तो engineer हूँ भाई मुझसे तो ये हो नहीं सकता. So ये बहाने ही नहीं चलते हैं. When you are actually passionate about something, if you feel like you are not able to perform, if you feel like कि नहीं मुझसे नहीं हो पा रहा है, तो that simply means कि you are not passionate enough to do it. अगर आपके अंदर पैशन है तो यू विल जस्ट कॉम्प्रोमाइज योर स्लीप. आई यूज्ड टू स्लीप फॉर जस्ट 5 hours a day. इससे ज्यादा नहीं सोता था. एंड उसके बाद माई ऑफिस वर देयर, माई ट्रेनिंग्स वर देयर, माई आई वाज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द एसएसबी. जो नॉलेज ग्रैब करना है, वॉचिंग करंट अफेयर्स एंड न्यूज एवरी डे. यू नीड टू बी अपडेटेड बाय मतलब व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन एंड अराउंड द वर्ल्ड. जब आप किसी एक इंटरव्यू में बैठ रहे हो, स्पेशली दैट इज अ इंटरव्यू दैट इज कंडक्टेड बाय यूपीएससी, तो बहाने नहीं चलते हैं जब एक्चुअली आपके अंदर वो पैशन होता है. अगर आप उस चीज को फॉलो नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो look into yourself. That means that you're not passionate enough about it. तो just look at other things that you can be passionate about. और definitely जब lows आते हैं, you should have a very good friend in life. This really works a lot. एक ऐसा दोस्त जिसके साथ आप सब चीज शेयर कर सको. पेरेंट्स को हम बहुत सारी चीज समझाना चाहते हैं, बट मतलब आई एम जस्ट सेइंग इट वेरी क्लियरली, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि वो नहीं समझ पाते हैं. दे आर सेज कि यार रिजल्ट क्यों नहीं आ रहा है, रिजल्ट क्यों नहीं आ रहा है, बिकॉज दे हैवंट सीन इट. वो उस चीज से इतना एक्सपोज नहीं हुआ है. दे फील लाइक कि हमने अपना हार्ड अर्न मनी इसके ऊपर लगाया है तो क्यों नहीं हो पा रहा है. But a friend is like who is updated about the world, who knows about your journey. So you should have a very trustworthy friend in life. Just one advice to you all. ज्यादा फ्रेंड्स रखने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस एक रखो जो ऐसा रखो जिसके साथ आप हर चीज शेयर करो. तो yeah, these were
Very
all the
true.
factors that kept me motivated in life.
I think that is wonderful and that is very true. You know, having a friend or a mentor or anything, you need to have that one person you can confide into. अगर आपके पास वो इंसान हो जिसमें आप confide कर सकते हो in your lowest and lowest of moments, I think फिर आपको कोई चीज रोक नहीं सकती. Especially that is when we talk about having a friend, a mentor, a guru. क्योंकि उसमें आपको आप directionless नहीं होते हो. आपको पता है अगर आप गलत भी जा रहे हो वो आपको गाइड कर देंगे. अगर आप लाइक यू सेड कि अगर वो जील या पैशन मिसिंग है, सो यू लुक इनटू योरसेल्फ एंड इंट्रोस्पेक्ट कि कहाँ वो मिसिंग फैक्टर है और प्रोबेबली वाज इट योर रियली योर पैशन या आपने सिर्फ भेड़ चाल में सुन सुना के कर लिया, राइट? सो आपको इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करना बहुत जरूरी है. स्टैंडर्ड्स यू सेट फॉर योरसेल्फ, मे बी आप उनको राइज इन कर लो या फिर उनको लोअर बैक कर लो. करेक्ट. थैंक यू सो मच जतिंदर सर फॉर अ लवली क्वेश्चन. सो मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, अजय. The Indian Military Academy selection is a several step rigorous process. So can you throw some light on the criteria IMA follows?
Yeah. So actually, what happens that first of all, the thing that I have been selected for is a gazetted day officer's post that is in the Ministry of Defense. Okay. So if anyone wishes to be in the academy, there are several steps, there are several procedures that they have to follow, and each step is a rejection process. If you look at this way, so first one is your UPSC written examination that you have to clear. Okay, so the exam, if you want to join the Indian Military Academy, then you have to go through an English examination, written examination that is of 100 marks. Again, the general knowledge examination that is again for 100 marks, and then your mathematics that is again 100 marks. So then a cutoff is there. If you manage to clear that cutoff, then you're called to the SSB, that is Service Selection Board. It is a body that recommends candidate for the academy. When you report to the board, Service Selection Board, SSB, then in the day one is your screening. So there are several tests that those are involved in the screening. I'll not go into the details, but yeah. So in the first day, again, just taking a rough example, if 100 students report, so only 20 and 25 are screened in. Okay, so this is the ratio. 25% to 30% is the screening ratio, and rest everyone is sent back to the home. So they have to start the process from zero. Right from zero, right from written examination. Then after day one, you have 4 days of your interviewing process, which includes your psychological tests, which includes your ground tests, that means physical tests, that includes your 1 or 1.5 hours of an interview. After this, on the fifth day, you are having your conference. And in the conference, the results are announced that whether you have made it or not. So again, taking the simple example, if 25 students have been screened in, so among that 25, 2 or 3, sometimes no one, sometimes 4 or 5. So the selection ratio is around 2%, 5% there. Okay. and after you get recommended, then you go through medicals. Okay,
Hmm.
and if you make it to the medicals, then you have to make it to the merit also.
Okay.
If you are rejected in the medicals, then again you have to start from zero. Then a merit is prepared. If you are into the merit, then you go to the academy. If you are merit out, then again you have to start from the written examination. So there is a
Okay.
whole chain of these. Yeah,
Yeah.
these simultaneous, I must say, this is not a selection test, this is actually a rejection test. You have to survive from the rejection.
So I think so. Like you said very abruptly that it's a rejection test. So if it is a rejection test, so trust me, when after being rejected for couple of years, maybe you're probably trying so hard, and there will be people who leave in between also, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
ones who
definitely.
get, the ones that the army churns out, they've got the best of men then, and then there's no doubt about their selection that they've done, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They've
I
all.
mean, there is no harm in quitting. Like, there is no harm in quitting because telling you a fact that APJ Abdul Kalam, he was also rejected from the SSB board.
Hmm.
So, and see, he became the supreme commander of the forces. So, मेरा बस ये कहना है कि आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आप कौन सी जगह पे फिट बैठते हो. You can be
Correct.
a very good politician, you can be a very good engineer, you can be a very good doctor. I'm not saying that only forces are there who is
Right.
contributing towards the country. Even if you are a good farmer, you are doing justice to the country. You are doing
Absolutely.
justice to your existence in India. So this is the fact. बस आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि आप किस चीज पे फिट बैठते हो.
वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। आई मीन दैट इज व्हाट आई सेड कि ये नहीं कि अगर आपने एक बार ट्राई किया, लाइक यू सेड आपने एक बार ट्राई किया, आप मेडिकल तक भी पहुंच गए, लेकिन आपका नाम मेरिट में नहीं था, सो बोथ द टू एम्स डिडंट वर्क इन योर फेवर, यू गो बैक टू जीरो, राइट? सो एवरी टाइम यू आर मिसिंग ऑन अ पॉइंट, यू आर गोइंग बैक टू जीरो. But then understand that when you're going back to zero again and again, let's say if it was not for armed forces, it was in some other setup,
Yeah,
आपका उतना ही रीवर्क हो रहा है, यू आर वर्किंग ऑन योर बेस, आपका पिलर इतना स्ट्रांग हो रहा है कि वहां पे आपको फिर कोई नहीं हिला सकता है. You're
yeah,
very sure of that thing, right? It is just कि आप अपने ऊपर वाले steps के ऊपर काम कर रहे हो. And like you said, it is no harm in quitting, but then I would say quit only when you are sure that it was not meant for you. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
question that why did you start at first place? मतलब ये नहीं कि एक बार दो बार एफर्ट्स किए उसके बाद आपने गिव अप कर दिया, फिर प्रोबेबली आप लाइफ में हर चीज में क्विटर बनना शुरू कर दोगे. डोंट क्विट सो फ्रीक्वेंटली. उतना दो अपना कि कल को अगर आपको कोई क्वेश्चन करता है, या अपने आप को आप आईने में देख के बोल पाओ कि हाँ मैंने क्विट किया, but then मैंने उतना ट्राई किया. Because the first question when people say that you want to leave something is, did you try hard enough? So that
yeah,
is
yeah.
very very important, because we're
Actually,
talking.
forces, yeah. Actually, forces is the mindset ना कि देखो, if you are getting rejected many a times, so the one thing, कुछ मिले आपको जीवन में या ना मिले, एक चीज आपको मिल रही है, that is your strong mindset. Mindset, आप failure से डरना छोड़ देते हो.
Correct,
तो
correct.
see, I was never an overachiever in life. I was an achiever, but वो overachievers की problem ये होती है, they are not able to handle the lows in their life. They are not see
So true.
able to handle the rejections. तो I was like कि ठीक है, I'll try for this thing. Even if I get rejected, no issues. I have already got rejected many a times. तो
Hmm.
वो चीज आपको उस mentally, मतलब it makes you a risk taker in life, that you know that yeah, you can take risks.
Absolutely, and I think that is the truth of life, and that is like accepting the reality and opening your eyes and yours to actual सच्चाई क्या है. मान लो मैं लाइफ में बहुत अच्छा कर रही हूँ, बट आई डोंट नो व्हाट द फ्यूचर होल्ड्स, एंड कल क्या हो जाए या नेक्स्ट मोमेंट क्या हो जाए. अभी मैं आई एम टेकिंग अ लाइव इंटरव्यू विद यू, नेक्स्ट मोमेंट probably I am on an ICU, I don't know. So life is that uncertain, so you should be prepared for the adversities. That is when you need to have a strong heart and a gut, and you have to keep going and going. So, because we're talking about leaving and quitting and all of that, so there is this comment in by Mr. Thakur Anuj Tomar. He says that he is a current computer science engineering student at the college, and he tried his hands into the army and probably wasted 2 years. So he wants to know other scopes after engineering. I'm not too sure if you would want to address that, but then since he's saying he wasted 2 years, would you like to address him as to how can he bounce back? Because seems that
So
he struggled hard. Yeah.
So, buddy, if you are saying that you have wasted your 2 years, I'm really sorry. You haven't wasted anything. You have invested in your experiences. तो वो एक ऐसी चीज है जो आपने फेलियर को सीखा हुआ है. सी, इफ यू आर अगेन द सेम थिंग, अगर आप इतने ही ज्यादा पैशनेटेड हो, यू विल डू इट. और अगर आप नहीं हो, टेक अ नाइट, 3-4 घंटे कहीं अकेले बैठो, प्रोबेबली जिस भी भगवान को आप मानते हो उस जगह बैठो, वेर यू फील सम काम, समवेयर इन द माउंटेन्स, जस्ट गो एंड इंट्रोस्पेक्ट योरसेल्फ कि भाई मैं ये नहीं कर सकता तो इससे अच्छा क्या कर सकता हूँ, अगर ये नहीं तो ये क्या. सी, देयर शुड ऑलवेज बी अ प्लान बी, देयर शुड ऑलवेज बी अ प्लान बी इन योर लाइफ कि इफ नॉट दिस देन व्हाट. तो you have definitely not wasted your 2 years, when you'll become a successful man, then you'll know the, the actually the importance of this, that what importance does this experience holds in your life, and this will help you in every domain. So never ever think that acha, and if you feel that, and if you're feeling that you're sitting idle, you have wasted 2 years, then do find a job, work as a, see, if you're a software engineer or any kind of engineer, so work there. This will eventually make you a very, a very productive candidate, that yeah, like he was failing for the 2 years, but still he never quit it, and he's doing job also, you'll have some income, you'll be financially independent, and then you can attempt it the next time, so you
Correct.
can impress the SSS by this. So never ever say that you have wasted 2 years. This is actually an investment that you have did.
Anuj, I hope you've got the answer because having read your comment, I so wanted to give you a piece of advice कि लाइफ में आप जो भी करो, मतलब जो भी करो, दैट इज अ लिविंग एक्सपीरियंस दैट यू हैव. चाहे आप कितने लोगों से मिलते हो, चाहे वो आपके मतलब का कुछ होता है या नहीं होता, अगर आप किसी, लेट्स से आप किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस में बैठे हो, दैट्स टू टिपिकल अ कॉन्फ्रेंस विद ऑल द टेक्निकलिटीज एंड जार्गन्स एंड आपको कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, स्टिल वो आपके लिए एक लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस है, क्योंकि उसमें जो कुछ बातें होंगी वो आपके यहाँ पर स्टोर हो जाएंगी. एंड हो सकता है लाइफ में आप बाद में उसी यू गेट एक्वेंटेड टू द सेम थिंग, तो आपको बाउंस बैक करके आपकी हिडन मेमोरी से बाहर आएगी और आपको याद आएगी, एंड इट विल हेल्प यू बेसिकली. सो आप जो भी कर रहे हो, आप यू नॉट वेस्टेड एनीथिंग. दैट वर 2 years ऑफ योर लाइफ दैट यू गेव, राइट? सो कुछ तो सीखा होगा फॉर श्योर. सो अजय, अ प्रॉमिसिंग कमेंट फ्रॉम यू वुड एक्चुअली ब्रिंग अ स्माइल ऑन अजय's and my face.
Yes,
So we look forward to hearing.
just one thing. If you really want, like, if you really want to get yourself motivated, as you are a army aspirant, just go and read Wings of Fire. You will get to know, written by the autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam. So if you'll read that, then you'll know कि everything that is happening with you, it is happening for a reason, and that is actually making you more stronger as a person in life. So just go and read that book.
Absolutely.
You'll get your answers. You'll, that is a Bhagavad Gita for, for the army aspirants.
Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful piece of advice that is given you, Anuj. So we look forward to hearing from you and all the very best. And thank you for an honest comment that you gave. That actually helped us that, the grass is always greener on the other side. So we look at Ajay as a celebratory person here, but then we have people who are still struggling as well. So it is always, good to address, always good to identify, speak for it, and then you will for sure get suggestions in whatever forms that are possible. So, moving on to the next question, Ajay. Joseph Campbell once said, a hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. And our soldiers and their love for their mother India creates the firm base of the Indian Army. So, what are your feelings about the same? What infused this love of your motherland in you? And was it a dream as a child because your dad was in the army? और डिड इट डेवलप ओवर टाइम व्हेन यू न्यू कि अब पापा को उतना अच्छा करके दिखाना है कि पापा बोले वाह बेटा, और लाइक यू सेड ट्वाइस द मोमेंट व्हेन यू सॉ टीयर्स इन हिज आईज. सो हाउ वाज इट?
Ma'am rightly said. As I said that my father has served 30 years in the organization, for the initial 18 years of my life till I passed my class 17 or 18 years of my life till I passed my class 12th, I was living in cantonment areas only. तो वहां पे मतलब आई यूज टू सी ऑफिसर्स इन देयर व्हीकल्स, तो वो गवर्नमेंट वाला मैम जिसे कहते हैं ना, जो एक रुतबा होता है, तो दैट एक्चुअली वो बहुत अच्छा लगता था. देयर वाज वन इंसिडेंट व्हेन आई सॉ, लाइक व्हेन आई वाज कमिंग बैक फ्रॉम द एयरपोर्ट, देयर वाज एन आर्मी ऑफिसर with that aviators on his eyes, proper those glasses, and he was waiting for his wife, and 2-3 people, they were ready to welcome that. So that was the feeling कि भाई जिंदगी में करना है तो ये करना है, कि मतलब you will be, मतलब you can be anyone, but when you are in a uniform, be it a police uniform, be it an arms uniform, कोई भी uniform हो, you stand out of the crowd. ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ भाई कुछ तो अलग है. मतलब uniform is not the thing that you can buy and wear on your body. It's the thing that you earn. Yeah.
You earned,
So
correct.
या सो वही चीज मुझे हमेशा स्टार्टिंग से ही लगती थी. मैंने अपने फादर को देखा है कि लाइक द काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ही इज सर्विंग इन, एंड आर्मी इज ऑल अबाउट ब्रदरहुड. तो मैंने ये भी चीज देखा है. आई हैव सीन दिस इन कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ ऑल्सो. नथिंग अगेंस्ट द कॉर्पोरेट, बट वो कल्चर आ जाता है इंडिविजुअलिटी का, कि मैं और मैं वाली चीज. बट फोर्सेज इज लाइक द मोटो ऑफ इंडियन आर्मी इज सर्विस बिफोर सेल्फ. सो द थिंग इज कि यू आर, अगर मैंने देखा है कि मेरी मम्मी जब बहुत ज्यादा बीमार होती थी कहीं पे भी, एंड माय फादर यूज्ड टू बी पोस्टेड इन सम फॉरवर्ड एरियाज, ऐसा भी हुआ है कि 15-15 दिन तक पापा से फोन पे बात नहीं हुई है, एंड पता चला है कि उसी एरिया में टेररिस्ट से कॉन्टैक्ट हुआ है, तो माई मदर यूज टू क्राई एट दैट टाइम कि भाई he is not picking up the call, his phone is not reachable, the lines are down, what will happen? So I've seen that phase in my life. मैंने वो चीजें देखी हैं, बट उसके बाद मैंने ये भी देखा है कि आपके पड़ोसी जो एक्चुअली who also happens out to be an army guy only, so how he supports your family. So you don't have just one father, you have many fathers, you have many mothers, you have many brothers in the organization. And this is the organization where I've always wanted to be, जहाँ पे सब लोग आपके लिए खड़े हो, if not you देन तुम्हारी फैमिली के लिए 10 लोग खड़े हों टेकिंग द सेम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। तो मेरे तो बहुत सारे बगल में अंकल थे जिन्होंने मेरी फीस भरी है, जो मुझे ट्यूशन तक छोड़ने गए हैं, मतलब मेरी मम्मी को जो शॉपिंग कराने ले गए हैं, बहुत, एंड दैट टू विद सच अ इतना सेल्फलेस
Oh,
तरीके से कर
yeah.
रहे थे। तो जब कोई ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में रहता है एंड व्हेन यू ग्रो अप एंड यू हैव दिस, व्हेन यू सी द वर्ल्ड एंड व्हेन यू सी कि वर्ल्ड इज गुड बट दिस इज द बेस्ट, तो you always want to go to the best side only. So that is
Absolutely.
why I chose this.
बिल्कुल, एंड आई
That
थिंक
is why I
इट्स
chose
लाइक
them.
यू अर्न्ड एन एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली, और किसको अच्छा नहीं लगता कि आपकी एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली, व्हेन योर फैमिली इज डाउन, यू हैव एन एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली स्टैंडिंग राइट इन ब्लड एंड स्किन, कि आपको, आप मतलब वो होता है ना, हुक्म करो एंड हम खड़े हैं आप लोगों के लिए।
Yes, ma'am.
एंड
Yes,
वो
ma'am.
जो श्योरिटी होती है, दैट सेंस ऑफ बीइंग जब आपके हार्ट में आ जाए ना, फिर देन यू डोंट वांट टू लुक बैक। सो व्हेन यू सेड कि 15 डेज डैड से बात नहीं हो रही है, व्हाई इज ही स्टैंडिंग स्ट्रांग देयर? बिकॉज ही नोज कि पीछे उनके उनके आर्मी ब्रदर्स जो हैं वो उनकी फैमिली को
Right.
संभालेंगे।
Right.
दैट्स
Right.
द feeling that they have, that sense of surety wherein they are ready to leave their family and then serve the next family, that is the country India, right?
एंड प्लस मैम आर्मी इज द काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो आपको वो चीज करने के पैसे देती है जिसके लिए आपको बाहर पैसा पे करना पड़ता है। सपोज दे आर कंडक्टिंग फैमिली वेलफेयर, दे आर कंडक्टिंग वर्कशॉप्स, okay, for army people, suppose I want to do paragliding, I want to do sailing, I want to do mountaineering, I want to summit Mount Everest. To summit Mount Everest you have to pay around 50 lakh rupees, some rupees
Correct.
to the Nepal government also, but if you are in army you can do it and army will pay you for that. तो
That is amazing.
ऐसी चीजें आपको करना, मतलब जो चीज आप लाइफ में करना, इफ यू आर डूइंग स्काई डाइविंग इन दुबई, यू नो व्हाट द प्राइस इज फॉर डूइंग स्काई डाइविंग, lakhs of rupees is required for training and everything, but army is actually paying you for doing this. So if you are very much into sports, if you are very much into, see, if you are very much into engineering, if you are very much into development, everything, army is like it is paying you for the thing that you have to pay for in the civil world. So
Correct.
that is why for every youngsters you have variety of disciplines available, you can follow any discipline. If you want to be a good engineer, there are many good engineers in army. If you want to be a good sportsman, there are good sportsmen in the forces. So you can always, you're like, you should join this organization, it will be worth it, you will be proud of your decision.
And you'll see the benefits that flow once you are into it. मतलब जैसे हम हार्ड वर्क की बात कर रहे थे, एंड द रिगरस प्रोसेस, दैट इज इट, द ड्रिल, वो ड्रिल के बाद जब आपको रिजल्ट मिलेगा, और रिजल्ट के बाद जब आपको कपल ऑफ बेनिफिट्स दिखते जाएंगे और वो नेवर एंडिंग होंगे, आई थिंक यू विल नो कि ऑल योर एफर्ट्स वर वर्थ इट, राइट? So since we were talking about uniform, Ajay, so Miss Samriddhi has a very lovely question to ask you. So how is it, and how does it feel to know that you would be wearing the uniform very soon? So Ajay, Miss Samriddhi would like to ask you, how do how would you be feeling once you know that you'd be wearing the uniform very soon?
Samriddhi, the thing is ki this was always the thing that I wanted to wear. So, and the best thing about uniform is when you get commissioned from the forces in the Indian Military Academy, then you are wearing 2 stars on your shoulders. And वो जो 2 सितारे होते हैं जो आपके कंधे में लगते हैं, वो एक्चुअली आपके पेरेंट्स लगवाते हैं। तो मेरी खुशी से ज्यादा आई कैन इमेजिन कि वो ज्यादा खुश होंगे। एंड डॉनिंग दिस यूनिफॉर्म, सी, वो बोलते हैं ना मैम, वर्दी पहन के एक सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आ जाती है। तो द kind of person you are in civil world, you are never that person when you wear a uniform. तो
Yeah,
बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें होंगी जो मैं अभी करता हूँगा just because I'm wearing this, है ना, branded clothes and something, but when I'm wearing that uniform I have to keep in mind कि अच्छा मुझे ये चीज करनी है और ये चीज नहीं करनी। सही गलत का बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आ जाता है जब आप वर्दी अपने शरीर पे डालते हो। तो
correct.
यही चीज आई फील वेरी प्राउड, एंड बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस, मतलब आई, बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस एंड माय पेरेंट्स ब्लेसिंग्स, तो whenever I will be doing this, so I'll feel very proud.
Lovely. I think that is an amazing one. Thank you, ma'am, for asking the question. So moving on to almost towards the last phase of the phase of the live session that we have today, sparring the time and everything. So we all know that army men are those who epitomize the values of the group, since we were talking about teamwork, brotherhood, collaboration. And in a military context, they are normally the people who are the fittest, strongest, and most tactically capable. So how apt is this according to you? And what all are the required skills that you reflected during your college days? So what all clubs or organizations were you a party to, and how did mmdu contribute to the same? Were you provided enough trainings? How was the drill basically at the campus? So what was your university's contribution in the same is what I'd like to ask you.
Ma'am, coming to your question, it was the university has, university provides you ample amount of opportunities. वो आपको हर चीज देती है. मतलब there are societies where you can participate. Initially, being a like first year guy, you feel like यार क्या चल रहा है? इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है. इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है. Actually, मतलब I am a student. जस्ट 2020 में मैं पास आउट किया. I'm just 24 years old. आप ही की एज का हूँ, बड़ा भाई. You can call me your friend or anything. तो जब आप फर्स्ट ईयर में आओ तो यू आर हैविंग दिस मेंटालिटी कि नहीं यार मस्ती ही करनी है, सिर्फ ये तो सब चीजें क्या है, इसका क्या मैटर है, कुछ मतलब ही नहीं है. बट एक्चुअली I was president of a society, a technical society of a department that was Codex, and actually that has helped me a lot. The thing that is known as public speaking, जो लोगों को fear होता है लोगों के सामने बोलने का, they are very much, they are very much in. They think that we are inferior speaking. If you will see someone speaking better than you, then you will be like कि नहीं भाई मुझसे तो नहीं हो पाएगा. तो ये सारी चीज हैं जो ओवरकम करने में मदद करती हैं आपको. The second thing is कि our university has provided us a very good infrastructure where you can play sports, where you can do many activities. You are having your gym, and I'm telling you this, that all the students that you are studying in the university, you are actually a very lucky slot that you are studying. Many people, many college, many universities ये नहीं देती हैं, और देती भी हैं तो you have to pay for that. ये चीज मुझे तब पता चली जब मैं यूनिवर्सिटी से बाहर निकला. पहले मुझे भी ये लगता था कि यार कुछ नहीं, ये सब तो सभी देती हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तो one piece of advice to all the young chaps, I'm not saying ki to only those who wants to be in forces, make use of every facility that your parents have paid for. कुछ भी हो, even to the girls also, girls shouldn't be like why should I go to ground when see your father has paid for the ground also. So everything in university is providing it to you for your benefit. So you should go try everything out and yeah, make the best use. And university is giving you अभी तो और भी अच्छा हो रहा है. I've seen university growing. I guess NAC A++ हो गई है, A+ हो गई है, I'm not knowing, but it has upgraded. Yeah. So many good companies are arriving to the campus. Excellent placement records. I hope कि मेरे टाइम हो जाती तो और भी ज्यादा अच्छा होता. But I'm really jealous with these new guys those are studying कि यार तुम्हें बहुत अच्छी opportunity मिल रही है. Make the best use of it. And I would like all the very best for your future. Just make every use of the facility that you are paying for, and make use of every facility that university is providing it to you, be it anything.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely description of how did the university play a role, because I I remember once you become an alma mater of a particular organization, so whenever the organization grows, more than anyone, of course, the people involved, the backbones are the ones who do get happy about the achievements. But more than that, it's the alma mater, because they look up to the organization from where it was to where it is going to where it will go. And then you will plan for your kids to go into the same organization because you became that man or the woman that you are today in the outer world, right? So it's really a very celebratory moment for you as well. So I can see that when you tell ki aisa tha aur ab aisa ho raha hai and aur zyada better ho jayega, correct?
Indeed,
So
indeed.
addressing to two quick questions which are quite alike. So Dhairya wants to know what was आपने preparation कैसे start की थी, and Karthik Sharma wants to know how did you prepare for the SSB and from where? So we can club these two questions and a quick one if you'd like to guide them.
Yeah. Answering this very quickly. So I started my preparation from second year. Second year से मैंने अपनी preparation शुरू कर दी थी. Not a full-fledged preparation, but knowing the basics. Because आप अगर if you are doing engineering तो आप final year से eligible होते हो, या any of the graduation आप हमेशा final year से eligible होते हो. तो just start your preparation 1 or 1.5 years before. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है, इतना भी tough exam नहीं है कि you don't know anything. तो starting your preparation is like just 1 or 2 years is the prior the examination is the best time to prepare. And coming to the most important question, because clearing paper which is actually very tough is still easy than clearing the SSB, because SSB never gives you marks. It just It is a binary, 0 or 1. Either you pass, either you fail. It is not like the civil service examination. If your interviews also goes wrong, that you are confident कि हाँ मेरा written तो बहुत अच्छा हुआ है, मेरे interview में भी कम marks आ जाए, I will make it. Fauj का interview is like you have scored full 300 out of 300, but if SSB says that no, I don't want this guy, no matter, written matter ही नहीं करता है. तो then coming to this other question, how you prepared for the SSB? See, SSB again, I'm saying just look at the officer like qualities. There are 15 officer like qualities. Make a list of it, tick mark that whether these qualities are there or not. Stating first one is effective intelligence, then sense of responsibility, then cooperation, whether you are a cooperative guy in the outer world, whether you are having the sense of responsibility. क्या सिर्फ आप अपने बारे में ही सोचते हो या उन लोगों के बारे में भी सोचते हो जो आपसे कनेक्टेड है? Just look at all those qualities, and if you feel that something is lacking somewhere, you can always have a mentor. It is best to have a mentor in life who can mentor you for the good, who is experienced in this field. Not any mentor, like you just find a mentor who has been in this process before, who has been an assessor in this before. So I also had a mentor, I'll not name that, but yeah, I also had a mentor in life. And yeah, so and the last thing is your introspection. So actually what I feel कि हम लाइफ में हमेशा तीन ही रोल प्ले करते हैं. ईदर वी आर अ फॉलोअर, हम किसी को फॉलो करते हैं. ईदर वी आर अ लीडर, हम लीड करते हैं अपने मैन को. और ईदर वी आर आवरसेल्व्स, हम खुद को देखते हैं. वो जो ये वाला बीच वाला स्टेज है ना, लीडर फॉलोअर के बीच में जो स्टेज है, दैट सेल्फ वाली चीज, दैट शुड बी वेरी मच एनलाइटेंड. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आप हो क्या. You should be able to answer every question that is put forward to you. क्यों जाना है, कहाँ जाना है, क्या करना है, जाने की क्या जरूरत है. अगर आप इन क्वेश्चंस का आंसर क्रिस्टल क्लियर अपने माइंड में बना के रखते हो ना, then SSB is not tough. Then I'll say that is the easiest examination, because if you are having the right personality, you don't need anything to be an officer in the armed forces. Yeah.
I think that gives a lot of advice to Karthik and Dhairya. Thank you for your questions. And still, if you have anything, you can of course reach out to Ajay. Ajay, a very next question that I have, and then probably we close. Miss Yogita would like to ask, what are your views about the Ragada sessions at the IMA? Do they turn out helpful in the future or no? I myself
um,
had a smile when I read that, and I for sure wanted to ask you the same.
मैम रगड़ा इस मतलब ऐसी ऐसी चीजें होती हैं दैट आई कैन नॉट डिस्क्लोज इट इन फ्रंट ऑफ पीपल कि मतलब हर तरीके का रगड़ा होता है. योगिता मैम हैज आस्क्ड दिस क्वेश्चन, सो शी मस्ट बी वेरी मच फेमिलियर अबाउट दैट, तभी शी इज आस्किंग इट. तो आई एम फेयरफुल ऑफ रगड़ा, बट एक्चुअली मिलिट्री आईएमए का भी यही है, हर एकेडमी का यही मोटो है, जितना रगड़ा उतना तगड़ा. सो द मोर it is rightly said, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. So the same thing, IMA is giving you ragda so that you can be a tough officer, because see, forces mein it is the toughest job in the world, the most, where you are mentally, physically, everywhere you are tortured only. तो रगड़ा तो मैम बहुत जरूरी है, और या आई होप दैट मैं झेल पाऊँ बस वो रगड़ा. तो आई एम रेडी फॉर दैट.
Thank you, Miss Yogita, for the question, and we would like your blessings and good luck to Ajay, because he seems to have a lot of it in terms of the terminology. So probably he'd be able to, and of course you'll be able to. We are very confident about it, and so should you be, right? So moving on to the last question, Ajay, what is that one loud message you'd like to give to the youngsters who wish to bleed blue in the love of their country, India?
Yeah, so the same thing, like I would like to say the same thing. Bleeding blue means you are bleeding for the country, and bleeding का मतलब सिर्फ ये नहीं होता है that you should take bullet on your chest and then you should prove that you are a patriot. Whatever you are doing, but there should be a love for your country in your heart. The simple thing is this: if you are doing job in airlines, if you're doing job in hospitals, if you're doing job in hotel, but if you are having this, कुछ भी कंट्री के ऊपर खराब होता है, इफ यू आर लाइक कि भाई केरला में फ्लड्स आ गए हैं, कुछ मिस हैपनिंग होगी किसी पर्टिकुलर स्टेट में, इफ यू आर डोनेटिंग ऑल्सो ना, देन यू आर ब्लीडिंग ब्लू. एक्चुअली यू आर ब्लीडिंग ब्लू. तो वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग, इफ यू आर टीचर, मेंटोर, एनीथिंग यू आर, जस्ट डू इट इन द फेवर ऑफ कंट्री. नेवर एवर डिफेम योर कंट्री. नेवर एवर यू शुड बी लाइक कि यार मेरी कंट्री ने मुझे ये नहीं दिया. बिलीव मी, ये जितना दे रही है ना उतना कोई नहीं दे रहा है. ये जितना हमें मतलब जितना राइट टू स्पीक एंड एवरीथिंग, जो ये चीज दे रही है नहीं दे रहा है. यू लिसन टू द स्टोरीज इन अफ्रीका वेयर यू आर एक्चुअली योर थ्रोट इज कट, पीपल आर नॉट हैविंग वाटर. People are killing each other to quench their thirst. They're ड्रिंकिंग ईच अदर्स ब्लड जस्ट टू क्वेंच देयर थर्स्ट. तो ऐसा माहौल है और देशों में, लेकिन हमारे वहाँ वी आर हैविंग एवरीथिंग. मैम वही बात है, हम ज्यादा प्रिविलेज्ड हैं, तो फिर हमें हाँ, तो फिर हमें कंप्लेंट्स भी उतना ज्यादा होती है. अगर कुछ नहीं होता देन वी शुड हैव नोन द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर कंट्री. तो वी आर हैविंग एवरीथिंग, एंड एवरीथिंग दैट यू आर डूइंग, डू इट इन द फेवर ऑफ योर कंट्री. एंड डेफिनेटली वन लाउड मैसेज कि जो भी कर रहे हो बस देश के लिए करो, और अपने माँ बापों के लिए करो, अच्छे से रहो, बढ़िया से रहो, एंड डू वेल इन योर लाइफ. इफ यू आर मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, you are taking country ahead also. Very simple message.
Absolutely, absolutely, a very beautiful message that is given right in the real, skin. Ki just be in the game and just up your game. जो भी कर रहे हो बस best करो, रुको नहीं. And I think that is, something that will never ever put a stop to your journey. आपकी गाड़ी हमेशा चलती ही रहेगी, चाहे पेट्रोल खत्म हो जाए, धक्का मार लेना पर रुकना नहीं. Correct.
Right,
So
right,
Ajay,
ma'am.
the chat box and the comment section is flooded with the congratulations, blessings, and hearty wishes to you. So I would really like to admit that the entire fraternity at MMDU Familia feels gratified to have produced such zealous countrymen unlike you, who have who leave no stone untouched to make not only us but the whole country proud. Wishing you huge success, love, and luck your way. Thank you so much for joining in. It was an absolute pleasure. Jai Hind.
Privileged to have you on screen, ma'am. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Have a
much. Thank
all
you.
the very best. Thank you. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.